Hi, my name is Nick Palmer. Today we'll be taking a look at Chapter 12, Roman Theater. Here's a brief overview of the events we'll be looking at. If you notice on the bottom, right around the turn into the Common Era, the government transitioned from a republican government to an imperial one. This had a mild effect on the theater that was actually on stage. Our first records of Roman theater begin around 500 BCE, and we know that comedies dominated Roman theater until the Common Era. Tragedy wasn't very popular due to the fact that there wasn't a big interest in philosophy or ethics in the Roman culture during this time period. We only have 9 tragedies from Seneca that still survive, and these were not even intended for actual performance. Plautus wrote over 100 pieces between 200 and 100 BCE, and we still have 21 of them, and some of these are still performed even today. Terence, however, we don't have very much of his work left, and we don't even perform much of it today at all, but it was used to teach proper Latin for a time period. When the first stone theater was complete, right at the beginning of the Common Era, Roman drama was phased out and was replaced by pantomimes and mimes. These became extremely popular during the Roman Empire, and mimes eventually drove out all their forms of theater from the stage. What makes mimes unique was that they didn't wear masks. Their facial expressions were important. And then 2, that women were actually allowed to be on stage. This was unique because this was the first time women were on stage in the Roman culture. Taking a look at the buildings and scenery that were used in Roman theater, we don't know very much about the early theaters. We can only assume that they resembled the stone ones that they later built. The wood ones were all torn down and destroyed, and nothing's really known of them. With the stone ones that we do have still today, they were typically built on flat ground with stadium-style seating that was built up around for the audience. And then one thing that was new to Roman theater was a periaktoi, which was one on each side of the stage. It was just a mechanical device that could be rotated. Usually just had paintings on it that would symbolize the scenery that the actors were in. These are still used even in some theaters today. Obviously a lot more advanced now. Roman theaters were the first to use a front curtain, another significance, and then the Roman theater was typically free and open to anyone that wanted to attend. And then here we'll take a look at a picture of a typical Roman theater. Notice that the sides of the stage are closed off. You can't enter or exit from that point. The orchestra is a half circle, and then several aisles were used for easy entrance and exit. Some important texts from the time period. These did not have much impact on the actual Roman playwriting or acting or anything. Didn't have much significance during the time period, but these texts did have a big impact on the Renaissance writers, even a little bit in Shakespeare. And finally, we have the breakup of the Roman Empire. By the 300s, Rome was broken into 2 units, Rome and then Constantinople. After this division, Rome quickly crumbled. Theater was no longer a priority. Constantinople maintained much of their original culture for a time being, but they were influenced by Eastern culture for a time. This continued until about the 1400s. Rome began turning around into the Great Renaissance, and Constantinople was overwhelmed by the Turks.